Good morning. La da 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 da. Good morning. I feel it's important to begin one's day with a sense of appreciation, heightened awareness, cultivate our resources in playing a more important role in how we think, how we are going to progress through our day in anticipation. It is not that we have a crystal ball. By cultivating our receptivity, we can influence the way that we respond to the flowing world inside and outside of us. So I say good morning, long story short. Whatever time of day it is for you, it is not the time of day that is important as much as that you are here in the first place, making an effort at being curious and seeking a sense of understanding in yourself of other people's thoughts, that you might gain a better sense of the different ways that we can be. One of the ways I begin to foster a sense of awareness and suggest you might try these declarations. Listen in, see what you think. Say them along with me. See how they resonate with you, what they mean, or something similar. In the uniqueness of each of us, it is important to allow for individuality. Speaking to oneself in fashioning one's self-affirmation, it is best, in my opinion, speak simply and directly to one's greater being. We don't want to have any ambiguity in what we're saying. This is a serious conversation. We are whom we think. Shakespeare perhaps said it best when he immortalized, "The world is a stage and we are actors, so let's play our role. I am here now, a bundle of miracles. I am humbled by the immensity of creation. I am grateful for having a part." Remembering that it is the essence of these statements and not the actual words or order one says them. It's a concept of being aware, of realizing our nature, that it's taken 1 billion years of evolution from the dawning of life upon this planet to being here now, and that we have a sense of the immensity of creation from what science has shown us. Its vastness, it's inconceivable. And here we are, appreciative. We have a sense to be aware of ourselves and of creation. We have all these tools at our disposal that have evolved over this incredible period of time. It's mind-boggling. And that's the purpose of the phrases. It jostles us and makes us think in broader terms than we usually do, widening our perception in such a way that we can find a sense of reverence, wonder, astonishment, if you will, being in awe, in consideration of what we've just said. That's the purpose. That's the goal. When one finds themselves having this kind of heightened experience, this exuberance is a means of adding character and desirability to our practice. Who doesn't want to find themselves in a sense of awe, in a sense of appreciation? Please take notice that I don't usually verbalize these 3 sentences just like I have for you. I wanted to make it so that you would understand each word more clearly. My actual preference is to say the words, enunciating the words in such a way that they resonate in my chest, in my lungs, and therefore throughout my torso, throughout my body, so that I really feel what I'm saying, and it brings a greater sense of what's already being said. It's a meditation in itself. It's a sense of mindfulness. Let's just say it one more time. I am here now, a bundle of miracles, humbled by the immensity of creation, grateful for being alive, thankful for having a chance to be here now. You see, I'm playful with it. Be playful. This is not something that you have to learn every syllable and nuance of. It's a question, again, individuality, uniqueness, having a go-to that you can recollect and bring up and remember in your mind when you want to. Something that transports you to a different place. This is what we're talking about. It's a tool. Don't get hung up on words and saying it exactly like somebody else says it. No. Be yourself. Understand the concept and develop it on your own. Practice. This is what practice is. Think for yourself. It's not faith we're looking for. It's understanding and wisdom, compassion, patience, kindness. These are the things we're looking for. We're building them. Moving on. I'm anticipating that came to today's podcast that you've already started to find a comfortable posture, preferably seated, and that you are undisturbed. It's important to think about situating ourselves because it's a means of bringing attention, of focusing and concentrating on our physicality, which is a great tool of deepening our commitment to this subject matter and resolving our attention to societal pressures, allowing them to dissipate for this period of time that we're meditating and being mindful. Come on. We've gained a sense of our body's temperature. We feel our musculature and our body proper, our bones, our nerves, our sinews, and we come to a conclusion that we're content and that we've satisfactorily completed this requirement and that we're undisturbed. We're blasting off. It's important that we consider, yes, we want to be rested and we want to be comfortable, but we also want to be alert. So if you find yourself sitting back in a seat rather than upright and in an erect posture, then change your posture by putting a rolled up towel underneath the rear of your butt, underneath your sacrum, to raise your sacrum up, straighten out your spine. This way you're counteracting the force of gravity by allowing your vertebrae to nestle in one atop another, just like a skyscraper or a bamboo. As each node of the bamboo grows, it has the support of the ones beneath it. Same thing. Yesterday, we spent some time focusing on our breathing. Today, let's spend some time focusing on the process of circulation, which is just as important as our respiration process. As we're sitting here, we've become aware of our temperature and of our musculature. We've become aware of gravity. We have all these different physical characteristics that we've come to terms with, and we find ourselves calm, relaxed, at ease, finding a sense of tranquility, a sense of grace. What else can we feel inside of ourselves? Do you notice a sense of pulsing in your body? Do you find you can connect to a rhythmic pulse of your heart squeezing oxygenated blood throughout your vascular system? 60,000 miles of vascular system, arteries and veins. 60,000 miles. It's a lot. You want to find awe? There's another chance. Focusing on this rhythmic cadence as your heart's squeezing this oxygenated blood through your system. Understanding that the heat of your body is predominantly generated in your heart and your lungs by their constant and consistent motions. You breathe 15 or 20,000 times. It's an action. It's a bellows. It's creating heat. And your heart squeezing around 90,000 times. It's utilizing energy and it's creating heat. There's a lot going on. That's why it's so easy to say bundle of miracles, because there's just so many things in so many ways that are miraculous, that are within us that we take for granted, and that understanding that we take them for granted, that they're occurring so many times a day, but taking a moment every once in a while to realize and remember and to be appreciative. This is what we're talking about. Again, a goal that we should be having every day and multiple times a day, to keep these things in our minds, that we keep the proper sense of where we are, of what we are. In 1560, a gentleman named Thomas Wilson, a rhetorician, a person who's interested in the subject and the persuasiveness of words, elaborated in his book dissecting any subject by asking 6 questions. The 5 W's and the 1 H. You may have heard of that. The 5 W's are what, when, and where, who, and why. And the 1 H is how. I like to keep track of the 5 W's by separating the 3 larger ones, the what, when, and where, from the 2 shorter ones, the why and the who, so that I make sure that I keep them in mind. And then, of course, the how. So that's straightforward. Okay, that's something else to be mindful of. If you have a question about something, ask these 6 questions, and if they don't apply to what you're talking about, well, then you ignore them. It's not important. Like timing is not always important, or where is not always important. So, use your common sense. But this is, again, these are tools that one can utilize in your investigations of what's going on, baby. What's going on? Feeling deep in your body. Your temperature is easy. With a little bit of practice, your pulse becomes easy too. Your whole body undulates with your pulse. See if you can allow this feeling to permeate your senses. Accept that you are a creature and want to come into better contact with yourself. Gently, with a sense of kindness, with a sense of understanding, feeling the rhythmic cadence. If you have a difficulty doing this, you could take a couple of fingers from one hand and place them on the wrist crease of your opposite hand underneath the thumb. When your palm is face up, you'll find your radial artery that runs along your radius bone. See how all this works together? Again, I'm not trying to be a doctor. I'm just trying to be informative so that you have a sense of what we're talking about all the time. Covered quite a bit of ground here today, and as much as I want to continue with this idea of a pulse, I'm going to leave it for our next session where we can combine our pulse and our breathing together. Okay? So have a wonderful day, and I'll be talking to you soon.